Titi? G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today, well, we've got a beautiful looking drone with an interesting name. It's probably going to get instantly demonetized, but the KAREAREA Titi, I'm not sure how to say that, T-I, but what this is, it's a little 3-inch pocket-size racing drone. It has some crazy good stuff here, and I'm going to put some pictures on the screen, and definitely thumbs up or thumbs down. I want to know your opinions. Is this absolutely a gorgeous little looking work of art? I really like the look of it, and especially how it's come together, so I'm really excited. But what this is, enough rambling, this is the part 1. This is the bench breakdown, the text and the specs, where we look at the titty. If you want to watch part 2, you can go watch that video up there. That's where we take it out to the field, do the speed run, have a bunch of fun, all that sort of stuff. But this is from KAREAREA. They're a New Zealand company. They make some really cool stuff. The original video I first saw of them was the Talon somewhere. We've also got the Kia. This one, I suspect it's modeled on a bird, like the names or those sorts of things, but they make some really cool things. So enough rambling, let's stick it on the bench and get started and find out why the KAREAREA Titi is such a cool drone. I'm so immature. I should also say too, a massive shout out because I've got 2 extra frames, an orange one and also a blue one that we've got here. That's going to be going out at the end of the month to my Patreon supporters. So I'm going to be doing a video about that at the end of the month, but that's a little bonus for you guys, a little sneak peek at what's going to be coming up for my Patreon supporters. Anyway, let's stick it on the bench and check out the titty. I can't do it. Alrighty, here they are on the bench, the TTs. Let's get them out. But what we've got the 3-inch version here and the 2-inch version here, and here's the secret, here's the spoiler. They're actually the same thing. So what I really love about this frame, first and foremost, you can turn this kit into a 3-inch and this one into a 2-inch, vice versa, because all you've got to do is simply take out one of these screws, well, 2 of these screws actually, slide the arm in and out. It is a transferable frame. So this is the first time I've really seen a 2-inch that can also be a 3-inch and vice versa. I really love that. Now, the other thing I want to point out is, look how beautiful this thing is. I mean, that is an absolutely stellar, stunning drone. And it's reminded me the first time when I saw the Armiton Rooster, you know, with the anodized aluminium, and it was bright orange. I love this bright pink color. I've got to say, it is a very sexy looking pair of titties. Oh, that's just too much. Anyway, let's kick it off. Let's keep going on with the review. So let's stick it on the scales because we've got some pretty crazy motors right here. And that noise is probably going to be a bit horrible for your ears, but let's stick it on the scales. It's coming in at around 150 grams. So look, it is a little bit heavier, but you do have some of these very special motors that I can't wait to show you. Let's tear this off actually. There we go. So each one of those motors is coming in at about 20 grams as well. So, you know, they're pretty chunky things for a little 3-inch. Now what we're going to do, get that bit of plastic out of the way. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go through some of the components and break it down, have a look at the bit of the frame, talk about the design details, then we'll talk about the quality, and then wrap things up with a bit of a pros and a con. But before we do all that, I'd say as an overview, what this is, it's designed to be a 3 or a 2-inch racer, to something a little bit versatile depending on what you want to build. It is doing things a little bit differently. You know, you can see you've got these struts here for extra support if you want to boost it up to 3 inches, and KAREAREA has done some fairly crazy stuff in the past. And one other difference as well, you can see it's got vertical arms and also these little aluminium motor mounts underneath, and that's how you actually bolt your things onto the arms. But with that overview out of the way, let's start at the outside in, work our way towards the middle and find out what makes the TT so special. Oh, I should also say as well, there's like a bit of a discount I think at the moment because some of them, they got the words printed upside down, so I think you might even get 30% off if one of these words is printed upside down. I've got mine. This is like the revised version where they're printed up the right way, but yeah, if you want to pick one of these up and you don't care if the writing is upside down or not, you find yourself with a bit of a discount. Just ask them, hassle them. Alrighty, so starting at the outside in, the first component I want to talk about is probably the frame itself. So you can see it's made up of 4 individual arms. Each one of those is coming in at 3 millimeters thick. Where's my little calipers? So let's zero this off. Yeah, that's coming in at 3 millimeters thick, and they're joined to this aluminium brace plate in the middle. Now I guess this is the main bottom body section part. That part, that's all solid, and then you've got these 2 little joiners that simply clip onto the outside. They screw in. You notice there's 3 holes in there, and that's really important because that lets you simply adjust the size of your arm. So let's take one of those apart. Let's say you didn't want a 3-inch. Let's say you didn't want a 2-inch. You simply take your screws out and then slide it out. We're going to turn this into a bit of a 3-inch. If I can find the hole. So you go through, you do that to all of these, and you can see your arms have extended out a little bit, and then Bob's your uncle, Trevor's your mate, you've got a 3-inch frame. So I really like the fact you can go between a 3-inch frame and a 2-inch frame. Not on the fly, because you are going to have to build around it, but it is nice to give you that option. And then also with the frame, you know, you're going to put the brace plate in there. Of course, you'd have this one a little bit longer. You also can put the brace plate in there if you're having a bit of a 3-inch for a little bit of extra strength. Now the motor mounts themselves, they do come in with 3 screws. I really like how they go in the side. A nice, simple, elegant solution. I don't think too many people are going to be having too many troubles whatsoever with those. And then let's kick it off. Start at the actual part of the components that I'm excited about are these motors here. And check this out. These are the KAREAREA branded motors. I'm not sure where they're getting them pre-made or something, but they're 1507s, 4200 kV, which is pretty crazy anyway. That is going to be a ton of thrust, and I do think that that is going to chew your battery. But look how chunky these things are. Look how coggy these motors are. Can you guys hear that? Let's see. I'll put it right near the mic. So I don't know if you can see that, if you can hear that. Trust me when I say these motors, the magnets in there, it is going to tear your battery a new one. It is going to tear a new hole in the sky, or that's the plan anyway. Definitely not very efficient whatsoever. So if you want long flight times, I don't think this is going to be for you. What this is when you whip out this little pocket rocket, and I'm expecting some insanity. I really can't wait to fly this thing around. Now, of course, we've got the vertical arms, and check out the build quality on this thing too. It looks absolutely gorgeous. They've heat shrunk the wires down. They're going in the middle, and this is where we've got a bit of our magic in the middle. We've got our 4-in-1 ESC, F4 flight controller, little VTX stack on the top, and that's all pretty standard stuff. Now, run cam camera in the front, all our channels, but some of the nice extra little touches they've put on here. Things like they've got this nice cap that's been zip tied to the side, and also this is some very nice antenna placement out the back. I don't think that's going to be cut anytime soon. And overall, the stuff in here, I really think this is one of the nicest little 3-inch builds I have ever seen. Oh, and the other thing too, I did put my own XT60 on there. That's why the colors look so bad. You know, I probably should have chosen a black one, but it did come with an XT30. But I think with these batteries, I'm probably going to be wanting to have an XT60 connector, and also rocking something like an 850 milliamp hour 4S little pack. As high C as you can get it to, because this thing I really believe is going to suck down the juice. Now what we should do, let's move over to the design of the thing, and I really like it. I think KAREAREA, they've always pushing the boundaries on what they want, you know, whether they be the waffles, the vertical arms. This one, it's got the vertical arms, and I love the fact that not everybody, you know, you might want to get 2 of these, you might want to build a 2-inch one, you might want to build a 3-inch one. It doesn't matter, you can use the same frame for both of them, and I think it's going to hold up pretty well as well in terms of the arms. I don't think it's going to matter which one you've got, because 3-inch, look, it's technically, you know, the arm span is longer, which might make it more prone to breaks, but because you've got this very, very thick little brace here, which is also 3mm thick, so that thing, it's going to hold up very, very nicely, especially in those front crashes, I guess the head-on crashes in that plane. I love how easy it is to go together. I love the colors, and I love the simple designs on the motor mounts as well. So a very, very secure, simple system, which is exactly what we want in our racing drones. Now, it isn't perfect though. I do worry a little bit in a hard crash. If you hit it on sorry, I haven't put all the screws in this one, but if you got really unlucky and you happen to clip something coming in sideways, maybe another drone, and it did clear your motors, so you're talking maybe about if something came in just above the motors and clipped in about here, and a really, really hard crash might snap down the bottom here. So I think that might be one of the frame's weak points. I'm not too sure. Maybe I'd like to see if there was 2 extra screws in here or something, but you'd have to get pretty unlucky. But I do think if this frame was going to break anywhere, that would be where it was at. Now, in terms of the quality of the thing, I'm going to say 10 out of 10. KAREAREA, they make some of the most beautiful frames out there. The tolerances are insane. The guy who's designed these used to work for Lexus, designing some of the concept cars and that sort of stuff. It is absolutely beautiful, and their carbon, their aluminium, everything in here, it comes out, it is extremely nice. So it is definitely a premium frame, but you would want it to be too, because it is a little bit more pricey than some of the others on the market, and especially for a little 3-inch. I like how they've even put a little cap on here, because I do expect these motors are going to be taking up quite a bit of juice, maybe causing a little bit of noise. It looks very nice with these zip-tied little antenna protectors. Out the back you get a nice little foam pad. It looks beautiful the way it's been heat shrunk down. Of course, you're going to want to use a 4-in-1 ESC to minimize any of the sort of nonsense on the arms. And when you're putting this thing together, you're going to notice just how nicely it goes together. I can't stress that enough. You don't have to file anything. You don't have to force anything. It just simply fits and simply works. Now, I guess that brings us on to the pros and the cons. Well, I've got to call it the titty. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, I'm so immature. I'm sure I'm going to be cringing the whole way when I'm editing, watching this video back. But things I like about it, I absolutely love how it's versatile. I love the quality of the thing. I love how it looks. It looks astounding. And if you want to go from a 2-inch to a 3-inch and, you know, maybe have a bit of a play around, something like this is going to be a great option. Now, in terms of its cons, well, probably, oh, and I should also say, did I mention how it looks? It looks absolutely stunning. Now, some of the cons, some of the things I don't like might be if you had a really hard, unlucky crash, maybe a side-on from another quad, I do worry, is it going to break across these little parts here? I'm not sure, are those struts held in enough? And then flipping it over, something you're going to notice is you don't have too much room in here when you're trying to, so my little receiver is put underneath. It was a very, very cramped fit, and if you want to put something like a, definitely not a split, but maybe one of the turtlet HD recorders or something like that in here, you're going to be hard-pressed to try and fit anything extra in this drone. Space is an absolute premium, and there's really not much room for it whatsoever. I should also mention the price to it. Like at the $70 mark is definitely not a cheap frame. But other than that, I really am excited to go fly this thing around. I can't wait to see what it can do. I can't wait to show Grumpy Trev, Crash Test Cal, and also to get Trevor's reactions when he sees how coggy this motor is. I have never felt anything like that, so I'm really, really curious. They all feel like that. Like, I don't know how many drones you can spin just like that. So I don't know, you guys, you hopefully get the idea. It's very hard to get that across in the video, but extremely coggy motors, very, very high quality, and some nice ideas in design as well. Alrighty, so there it is. There's my review of the KAREAREA TITI. Every time. But overall, I'm really impressed. And the first thing I want to mention is the quality. Like, KAREAREA makes some really, really good stuff. And I'm sure anybody who's flown the Talon, the Kia, they've done things a little bit differently. They've pushed the envelope. And look, not everyone's always been on board and they've tried to resist it, whether it be vertical arms, whether it be the waffles, all those sorts of things. But I think they're definitely making some very, very cool drones. I like them. I fly them quite a lot. I loved the original Talon, and the Kia for freestyle was very, very different, I think. This one, what really blows me away is the quality. So the way this thing has been meticulously put together, it is perfect. It's like a work of art. It looks amazing, and it has been built amazingly. So I'm not sure if they do bind and flies, but check them out in the links down below. And if not, email them. Hit them up, hassle them, because these things, I can't wait to take this thing out, rip it around, and especially with these motors, like these are gonna rip a hole in the space-time continuum because they are so coggy. I can't wait to see how much power we get out of this little 3-inch pocket rocket. Anyway, that's enough rambling. Definitely subscribe for more FPV related content. What do you guys think about this frame? Drop your comments down below. Big shout out to KAREAREA for sending over 2 extra ones, extra frames for my Patreon supporters. Go watch that part 2 video that should be up right now. And as always, happy flying. Alrighty, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. Definitely subscribe if you're new to the channel and check out these videos. And I'm also going to leave a little link here to my Patreon page because I've got some fantastic Patreon supporters and I like to give back to them as well. So if you want to join the UAVfutures family, there's things like bonus Velcro straps, little bundles of FPV goodies and things like that that also get sent out. Anyway, happy flying.